Or there's people that, for example, in a consultation, I always ask, are you going to have any MRI or CT? And they're like, why are you asking? I'm like, well, if you're going to have, or even in the future, you just need to know that you need to provide this information to the tech that you have a tattoo done. That if there is any type of reaction when you have those testing and they see something in the result, they need to know that you actually have a tattoo on your body. It doesn't matter which type of form. So there's so many things that are involved in that I personally take it very seriously.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Liana Reznik, who is a leading medical pigmentation specialist and founder of Fancy Smancy PMU and Medical Pigmentation Clinic in Highland Park, Illinois. With over a decade of experience, she has worked side by side with renowned celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Leonard Hodgson of The Real Housewives of Miami, providing advanced scar camouflage, 3D areola restoration, and corrective medical tattooing. She's also an international educator, author of From Scar to Strength, and has been featured on Fox News and in multiple publications for her pioneering work. Recognized by the Better Business Bureau and honored by Marquee Who's Who in America, Liana continues to inspire through her mission of transforming scars into stories of resilience and confidence. So Liana, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's start with, how did you get interested in aesthetics? Let's start there with your story.
Oh my God. It is actually a story. So I always wanted to be interior designer, and I actually signed up to go to college to that. But last minute, I actually said, it's okay to make nice buildings, to make them pretty, but I don't think I will feel the satisfaction. And I said, maybe I need to take a different route, maybe to work more with people and to help them with their insecurity or with any type of imperfection that they feel that they have in their body. And then just last minute, I decided that I'm going to college, to school for 4 years to become a medical esthetician. And then following that, to become a medical tattoo artist.
Okay. So you've been this artist for this time. And so I'm curious, what led you to want to start your own practice?
Wow. Well, I'm kind of a person that I don't like to be controlled by someone. I like to do my own thing. But the thing is that when I see that something is wrong and I don't agree with this and it's not ethical, so then there is a problem. And, when you're working for someone or you're working with someone as partnership, you don't have the full control actually to follow with what you believe or what you actually wanna do by your own, and to transfer it to your community. So this is why I decided that it's better for me to have something of my own that I can actually build and control by my own, ethical reasons, business-wise, and even not business-wise, just to be, transparent with my community. Because in the end of the day, the people that I'm working with are not people that just want to have nails or hair. They're actually coming because they need help mentally and also physically.
Okay. And with your practice, you do a couple things. You do the scar camouflage, the 3D areola restoration, medical tattooing. I think for a lot of these things, most people have not heard of them. So could you talk a little bit more about what these things are? I think the scar camouflage, and they can kind of figure out, like, if they have a scar, you can kind of make it look like it's not there anymore. But could you talk a little bit more about these?
Yes, of course. So medical pigmentation, it's coming from the tattoo world. So we have permanent makeup, that it's everything that concern eyeliner, eyebrows, like microblading, everyone knows about it, and lip tattooing. And then we have the body art. So the body art, it's like when we have all the beautiful designs. And then we have a third category that it's the medical pigmentation, or you can call it paramedical pigmentation or paramedical tattoo. So it's everything that concern any type of scar camouflaging. So if there is any surgical scar or accident scar or self-harm scars or burn scars, this is something where medical pigmentation coming in hand, because we can make those scars less noticeable with skin color. And when we're talking about, for example, areolas, so we have 3D areolas. So after mastectomy, as we know, most of the patients are losing their areolas, and it's where I actually can make a 3D areola from scratch, Or we have areola camouflaging pigmentation. It's mean any type of areola that was disformed for any type of surgery or an accident. So then it's where I actually can help them and to correct them if they were disformed or they lose any type of pigmentation from a trauma that happened to the body. Um, and there is another category or of the autoimmune that some people are having. It's vitiligo. So when we have those white spots that are losing the color, losing the melanin, the pigmentation in the body. So this is something also that can be camouflaged and to make it less noticeable as possible.
Okay. So there's a couple things I want to dive a little bit deeper into here. So the 3D areola, because you mentioned that you can build it from scratch. How does that work? Are you basically taking kind of the skin that was there and trying to form it? Or are you taking from somewhere else and kind of building it? Or is it like, how do you do that?
No, I don't do anything. Everything is flat. It's like a white canvas for me. I do everything only by tattoo, by art, by drawing. I do the
Wow.
measurements and then I just start and I dive in and I with dimension and shading and different highlighting. And it's like you do regular body art tattoo, flowers and everything. So this is the same thing, but just as an
Oh,
areola.
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really going to be from, I guess if you to sum it up, more from the everything you do like tattooing, but it's just in different applications depending on what it is.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I'm also curious about the lip tattooing. What's I guess the use case for that? Like, why would someone come in and want to get a lip tattoo?
Well, a lot of actually women want to enhance their lips and they are tired to apply every day, any tinting or any type of lipstick. So they just want to have something more permanent, more for a few years. So then they're actually coming to me and this procedure called lip blush. And the other category for lip pigmentation, it's when we have any type of lips that were disformed, that, some people were born with some imperfection, or when we're getting older, we are losing the melanin color on our vermilion border. So our borders are not that defined when we're getting older. So a lot of women or even men want to enhance it or to actually add a little bit color that it will look actually more fuller.
Okay. So
Mhm.
they can put the color into the lip to make it look fuller or have that blush. What about the form? Like, is there a way that you're able to do tattooing on the lips to make it look like it's a little bit thinner or a little bit bigger?
So no, unfortunately, there's so many clients that thinking, oh, I will go to do lip tattoo and they can make them bigger. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, there is artists that actually do that when it's a big, big no-no in our world, right? Because with a tattoo, you cannot make them bigger. In
Hmm.
the first few days or a week, it will look beautiful, but then when it will heal, it will look like you have a clown lip, that is like
Hmm.
over. Because
Hmm.
usually when permanent makeup is healing, 74 to 78% is getting lighter because this is how the body is reacting and observing the color, right? So if we will actually go above the vermilion border and all this area will get lighter, so then we will have double lip, unfortunately. So this is where, unfortunately, I have a lot of clients that even traveling, flying into me just to start to have type of lightning session removal to try to pull the color out as much as possible to be able to correct it. If someone wants to have a fuller lip to make it bigger with a volume, it's only by fillers, not by a tattoo. If there is any artist that will tell you, hey, yeah, no problem, of course I can do that. You need to get your stuff and to get out of this office
Hmm.
right away.
Okay. And you mentioned before that if people want to have that extra color for maybe a couple of years, so does that mean that when they do that lip tattoo, that it's really good for a couple of years before it starts to fade, or
Yes,
how does that
correct.
work? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We call it permanent makeup or semi-permanent makeup because it's not forever. It's there. But with the time, it's fading. How much is fading? It all depends. It's very individual between each person. Some people they can have it for a year or two. Some people can have it for 3 years. It's all depends how their lips are reacting, how much their lips are all the time dry or getting peeled with the time. But why we call it permanent, even that it's not permanent, everything that concern needle or a blade opening the skin and to implement an ink inside is considered a tattoo. And if we talk about body art tattoo, when you have it done, you have it done until you're getting the laser to remove it, but it's there. So
Mhm.
whatever we have, opening the skin and to have, needle wise or anything like this with color in, it's falls under permanent makeup category.
Mhm. Okay. And so does that mean that if it's going to be there for a couple of years, that I'm assuming it's going to fade over time? Is it normal that people come back a couple of years later and get it
Yes,
redone and that's okay?
absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. I have a lot of clients that really happy with the results. And then they're coming after a year or two, even 4 years, when I have people that I do lash liner enhancement or a nice natural eyeliner. Oh, I can see them after 3 years with no problem.
Okay. And
Hmm.
when it comes to the medical tattooing side, the scar camouflage, I want to dive a little bit deeper into that one. So if someone has a scar, are you doing the scar camouflaging where you're basically putting like a design on it, or are you trying to make it blend in so it looks just like the regular skin and there is no scar at all? All.
Yeah, what the form that I do medical pigmentation, it's with skin tone to make it as much balanced and less noticeable as possible. There
Mm,
is actually tattoo artists that do the body art. So you can
mm.
cover those scars with any type of art. This is not my category. I'm more in the medical field that it's more to have as a skin color.
Got it. Okay. And you were talking about as far as what you do, and also there's the body art that's done. I think that's what most people think about with your traditional tattoo. I go to a tattoo artist, they put a design on my body as a tattoo. So I want to ask, when it comes to the ink, is the ink different from what you use and from what the typical body like the body art tattoo does?
Yes, 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 yes. So there's different type of inks in this field. So it all depends by the carrier. So we have three main carriers for an ink. We have an alcohol carrier, we have an oil-based carrier, and we have an aqua that is the water carrier. Usually for body art, and also for areolas, for example. So the alcohol carrier, it's more used because it's more permanent and it's there. When
Mm,
we're talking about scars, I like to work with an aqua carrier or an oil carrier because it's not that permanent and it can fade with the time. So there is more options to play around with the shades with the time if your skin is getting changed a little bit, but also it's much more, um, how to say it correctly. It's not too much traumatic to the scar itself because it's already a scar tissue that it's damaged. So
mhm.
it's much more lighter version.
I I see.
Mhm.
So, and if I wrote this down correctly, the alcohol-based version is more the ones for the body art.
It's
Uh,
it's
uh,
more stable. It's dry faster and it's more stable. And also, it's not my favorite to use because some people can be more sensitive to this and to have
mm,
more irritation. But
mhm.
basically, it all depends by the percentage and the carrier that it's being made with a brand. Yeah, brand. Yeah.
Okay. So if I came in and said that, hey, Liana, I want to have my lips be a little bit darker color, but I want to
Mhm.
use the alcohol-based ink, not the water or oil-based ink, is
Mhm.
that going to be okay, or are there issues with potentially doing it that way?
Well, so here's the thing. Usually, clients, when they're coming, they don't understand the difference between the ink. They're
Mm,
coming to get a consultation for a procedure, right?
mhm,
It all depends by the artist what they like basically to use. I really like to use the aqua for the lips because it's much more lighter version
mm,
and it's blending a little bit more, and I have more control with those type of inks compared to alcohol that they dry very faster. So the alcohol carrier, it's much more for artists that are actually have more experience. The other version, it's more they're just starting out, but I just like the look of it.
mm,
Um, to be honest, in the consultation, I do an allergy test with all the
mhm,
carriers to be
mhm,
able to understand if you have any sensitivity to that. Because maybe you are sensitive to the aqua
mhm.
formula, but you're okay with the alcohol carrier. So it just all depends.
Mm, okay, got it. Now, with what you do, I think it's a very unique type of niche. And I'm sure you get a lot of people coming in with a lot of misconceptions or myths about what this can do and what you can do. What would you say are some of the most common myths or misconceptions you hear from your clients?
Oh, wow. I will give you an example.
Mhm,
Before our Zoom today, I was reached out by a potential student because I also mentor artists.
mhm,
And she reached out to me and she said, I just finished training, but I would like to get actually a shadowing and to get more support because I'm afraid to work by myself on someone. So because she already took training with someone, of course, I will not offer her full training with me, right? But I can mentor her, but I need to understand where is her difficulties, to understand what is her level. So I started to ask the different questions, and the question that I'm asking her are actually the information that she's providing me are incorrect. And this is where the issue is starting, that people think that it's a shortcut in medical pigmentation. They think that, oh, I can come, I will do the camouflage, or I will do this little stretch mark, and I will have results right away. It's a process. It takes sessions. It takes time. It's not like nails or hair or waxing that you come in, you have it done, and you have result. This is a process that can take up to a year or a year and a half, depends on the difficulty of the case and the level of the scar, how much the scar is actually raised or dented, how much is actually hyperpigmented, what we need to do to treat the scar, because not all the scars are candidate for camouflage color. And this is where another problem is actually coming, because I have clients that coming to me and saying to me, well, I had a consultation and I want to have a second opinion. What do you think about my scar? So it all depends how old is the scar? What is the texture of the scar? Because if the scar is not a candidate for camouflage, we're not able to implement ink in it because the results will be horrible. So we need to prepare the scar for camouflage, that it's already a different treatment that needs to be done. So a lot of people thinking that it's like in and out, you will have results right away. And they don't understand that it's a journey that they need actually to be ready for, to be able to process it, in their mind.
Okay. So that brings up a couple more questions in on my end, because I was kind of thinking like, oh, tattoo, you go in there, you get it done once, like you sit down, you get it done. Okay, I'm done. I'm now done. So I know it's going to be different for everybody, but on average, how many times would somebody need to come in to get the treatment done to get their end result? Just an average number.
Well, the recommendation always with any type of procedure is 2 sessions, because after the second session, the area reacts much differently. When we're talking about 3D areola, so it's a process of 2 appointments only, and it's done. We don't need any more with 3D areola. When, for example, we're talking about areola correction from any type of surgery and there is scars involved, it can take up to 3 sessions. It can take. It all depends how the skin is reacting, but it also depends what is the status and the level of the scar. If I have scars that are not candidate for camouflage and I need first to prepare them with a different procedure, so it can take between 2 procedures with the first option and then to go to camouflage if needed again. So it can take up to 5-6 sessions. It just all depends what is the plan that I'm customizing by the difficulties that I have with the skin.
Okay. And what's the typical time between these sessions? Can you come in today and then again tomorrow, or you need like a week or like a month in between sessions?
So it also depends by the Fitzpatrick scale. Fitzpatrick scale is in our skin tone. So for example, me and you, we're between 1 to 3, we're light skin complexion. And then we have between the Fitzpatrick 4 and 6, that is a dark skin complexion, right? So the dark skin complexion is always healing much more longer because it's prone for hyperpigmentation, because there is more production of melanin. So it can take much slower. When we're talking about camouflaging, usually with areolas, it's recommended to have 5 to 6 weeks apart.
Okay.
When we're talking about areola correction camouflage, so it can be done between 4 to 6. When we're talking about scar camouflaging, so it can be every 4 to 5 weeks with no issue. But if we're talking about the preparation of the scar, so it's a different procedure that I call it a dry tattoo or an implant. So then it's a different process. It's more timing. So if we're talking about light skin complexion like me and you, every session can be between 8 weeks to 10 weeks, depends if the person doesn't have any health issues or any autoimmune disease. And if we're talking about dark skin complexion for this dry needling, dry tattooing / implant, so it can take up to 120 days before we're doing the other session.
Okay. So now, as far as the time, or I guess the length of time that these treatments last for? We talked a little bit on the lip tattooing where it could be a couple years, but on the scar camouflaging in the 3D areola, is there a certain time that it's going to last, or is that largely permanent?
It's there. It's
Mhm.
there for a few good years. How much is getting lighter? It depends their lifestyle. So with areola, usually it's there for years and years and years. They
Mhm.
just need to come because they just want to add a little bit more definition because it just blended out or it's faded. Regarding when we're talking about scar camouflaging, it all depends how much you're exposed to the sun. If you apply sunscreen, how many times you scrubbing your body or you doing full body scrubbing in different mat spas. So it just depends with that because at the end of the day, it is there, but it fades with the time.
Okay, got it. Now, I want to go back to that story you mentioned about that person that came to you, wanted training, and just the answers that she was giving you was not correct. So, for your average consumer who's looking for a provider to help them with these treatments, what would be the most important piece of advice you would give to them on how to find a good provider who knows the answers to these questions and can really guide them and give them a good treatment?
Yeah. So what I always say, again, when a client is coming for a professional, they trust what they're saying, right? They don't know anything about that. So
Mhm.
they just go with the flow. What I always say when it comes to permanent makeup or medical tattooing, you need to do a little bit more research and you need to have more opinions. So you're having a consultation, have at least 3 consultations with 3 different artists and to see what are the answers that they're providing you. And of course, you need to have all the questions already when you're meeting them. You also need to see how the artist is managing their practice and the experience, how many years of experience they have, and also their work and their portfolio. We also
Mhm.
need to look at reviews. Of course, reviews today you can, unfortunately, you can ask your
Mhm.
friend, oh, give me just a review that I will have it, right?
Mhm.
But you need to see actually if it looks actually legit and photos before and after, and to see that it's actually their photos and it's not
Mhm.
photos that they took from an online website, if it makes sense. And for me, the first thing, if there is an artist that don't provide consultation, and I'm not referring for a consultation before procedure, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes before procedure. Actually, a full consultation in a different day and a different time, it's
Mhm.
already a red flag for me because when I have people reaching out to me, they want to have a procedure. I Without a full consultation of 1 hour in a different day, I am not accepting them because a consultation, it's a very crucial part in this process because in the consultation, I need to do an allergy test. In the consultation, we need to go over everything. I need to analyze what is happening, what is bothering them. Then I need also to analyze their mental stage if they're even ready for something like this. So there's so many things are actually involved in a consultation before you jump into a procedure. So
Mhm.
if there is artists that don't do that and they do like, I will give you an example, even for eyebrows. For eyebrows, most of artists, they do a consultation 20 minutes before and, oh, okay, yeah, hop in on the chair and let's do it. Me? No, we're having a consultation. We're doing measurements, we're doing drawings, we're doing allergy tests. We're trying to see what exactly is the best for you. What is your face is giving us? And by that to see if it's something that you will be willing, she have time to process it, to understand. I send them after the consultation, I send them an email summary of everything what we were talking about, that they actually will understand what is it involved. That then they will not have like a shock of, oh my God, what did I do? I don't like it. I hate it. I want it off and they're like stuck with this. So
Mhm.
if there is an artist that don't provide consultation, for me, it's a big, big red flag.
Okay. And I want to dive deeper into some of these other red flags. You mentioned the consultation is really important, but what are some of the other red flags that people should keep an eye out for? You mentioned the allergy test. Like, I don't know if that's something that's normally done or if it's just you do it because it's
It's
very,
something that I do.
okay.
It's
Okay.
it's something that I do. I don't care if it's eyebrows or if it's lips or it's scars or it's even little heart if they want to do that I will do a little small like a fine line art tattoo. I always do a sensitivity allergy test. For me, it's spirit because I use different brands. I have different carriers, different percentage. I just want to be for sure that they are not sensitive. Now, here's the thing, in a few years, they could actually have allergic reaction to a tattoo.
Hmm.
it could happen. Oh, absolutely. It could happen with body art tattoo. After a few years, something intrigued. But so we are not able to avoid, but we can still take all the precaution for just in case, because, some people can say I'm allergic to nickel. Nickel, there isn't it in an ink, or there's people that, for example, in a consultation, I always ask, are you going to have any MRI or CT? And they're like, why are you asking? I'm like, well, if you're going to have, or even in the future, you just need to know that you need to provide this information to the tech that you have a tattoo done. That if there is any type of reaction when you have those testing and they see something in the result, they need to know that you actually have a tattoo on your body. It doesn't matter which type of form. So there is so many things that are involved in that I personally take it very seriously. Clients, they need to see license on the wall. They need to see if they have any type of consultation form that they can get a copy. If the artist provide any pre-care instruction or explaining, and an after-care instruction that they're explaining in the consultation, what to expect during the healing process. Absolutely. There's so many. This is why it takes for me 1 hour of consultation, basically.
Okay, that's great, because I never knew that getting a MRI could make a difference if you have a tattoo or not. Like all these different.
There could be a reaction.
Never thought about that.
Heavy
That's
metals.
incredible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Liana, I'm sure that you've had a lot of different cases that you've dealt with over the years. Is there maybe one that you wouldn't mind sharing? Maybe a story of somebody that came in and just tough, challenging case, and how you're able to get them a great result in the end.
Wow, I have a few. Okay, case. Yeah. So I had a cancer patient, survivor, Vivian Morales. She actually was. I hosted her on the TV segment that I had on Fox with the twin doctors, and we had a journey. I even have, if you want, I can share with you a video of her journey until the day of the procedure and the reveal. This is something that I personally do for every patient. This is a gift for me. I'm asking them if they're willing to do short videos until the day of the procedure and how they feel, what they have in their mind. And then I make a short clip for them and I give them as a gift. I think it's something very meaningful. They've been through a lot, and I think it's just the cherry on the top. And with Vivian, she did a research and she found me online and she came for a consult, and she felt very comfortable with me that I will do her procedure. We went over everything, and I explained her also the process of the claims and the insurance for the 3D areola, because by the Women Organization of 1998, insurance must cover for 3D areola after mastectomy. There are specific CPT codes for that as well. So it must be covered. Now, how much it will be covered, it already depends by the deductible. And also, it all depends by the pricing also of the artist, if they will cover everything or partial. And I was asking her if she had any consultation before for 3D areola. And she mentioned me that actually the doctor who provide her the surgery in their office, they have their own artist, but she didn't feel comfortable because it was a male. And surgery is surgery, but nipple tattooing, it's something different. It's much more, sensitive, part for her.
Yeah.
And she also said that she saw his work and she was not a fan of it. She saw my work. She saw a lot of photos before and after, and she just reached out. And so we had a procedure. We had the 2 appointments, and then it's time to make the claim for the insurance. Now I'm out of network. So what I do, I help them. So I prepare all the documentation, everything that they need to have, I give them, and then they send the claim to the insurance. Now, this is something that, again, that I don't have to do. There's no any tattoo artist that even doing that. Usually, the client just figure it out and trying to send by themselves. But I really want to support community, and I hate to see patients that just, under the water because the doctor doesn't do that. They don't do that for them. They need to do it by themselves. So I do my extra hours and I help them to do that. And when the time was to get the CPT codes, the referral for the procedure, the practice of the doctor actually said no. we're not going to provide you the referral. They saying it to the patient, to Vivian. And she asking, what is the reason? They said, we just don't do that. She's calling me. She's crying. I'm like, Vivian, what happened? And she's telling me. And I'm like, hold on. No. I'm like, no. This doesn't make sense. I'm like, do I have a permission to reach out on your behalf? She's like, yeah. She sent me a document. I had it for just in case. I sent an email to the main office, and then I called. And I presented myself, who I am, what I am, where I'm located, my EIN number. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? We need to make the claim. She wants to send it. We need a referral with the CPT codes. Can you please provide it? Now, why I reach out to the doctors? Because I work with a lot of doctors, and usually I'm communicating with them and they send it with no issue. And they said, no, we're not sending the referral. I'm like, okay, what is the reason for that? And they said, we just don't send it. I'm like, okay, doesn't make sense. I'm like, do you understand that she's through a process? Like, this is something that needs to be covered. You're the last step, that the link for everything for the insurance. And I said, okay, in this case, if you're not willing to provide us the CPT codes referral, are you able, please, to provide us an email or a document to me or the patient that you are not providing the CPT referral? Even if there's no reason, you just don't that we can show it to the insurance and to explain them that this is what is happening, because the medical necessity, I provided her. The protocol of the procedure, I provided. Photos before and after, I provided. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So we called her insurance. We were on a three-way call. We explained them the situation, that they will see that she's not lying. And I also, already involved. And they were in shock. Like, how is it possible that a doctor is refusing to provide a referral for something that should be covered by insurance? And they said that they will check what can be done. They reached out to us after, I think, 3 days. And they said that we can get a referral from her primary doctor instead. We have that permission, and then to submit the claim. So we reach out to her primary doctor. They email me the referral. I attached it to all the paperwork that I prepared for her. I gave it to her, and she sent it. And that's it. And usually it takes up to 90 days for a reimbursement. It took maybe a month and a half instead, and she got the full reimbursement.
Wow.
But I was very bothered about the doctor. Like, what is going on? Like, how does it make sense? Now, here's the thing. If I was not putting my extra hours and effort to try to help her, she will get stuck, right? So we actually reach out to the Northwest, hospitals, the main in Illinois, and we made a complaint about the doctor. And it started to be investigated. And what we found out, that the reason why he was not providing it, because he had his own artist, right? And she didn't want this artist. And even if you're using this artist, they are not submitting it to the insurance. The payment that the patient is making is staying in the practice. So, and I'm like, oh, no, this is not, I'm like, nah, not on my watch. So there was a complaint. The patient did a full complaint. He got a fine, I think something with his license. This already, I don't know, but I know that it was a huge thing. And also, I also explained them something. I said, if you are requiring that a patient will use only your artist services for 3D nipple tattoo, this is something that, from ethical reason, you needed to let her know in the consultation when she came to have a surgery with the doctor. Because in that consultation, he could tell her that, by the way, the next step after the reconstruction is to have a 3D nipple tattooing, and it's only through our practice. Here is the work of the artist. Please let us know. And it will be her decision if yes or no, right? And here, nothing was provided to her. Nothing was explained. And this what was bothering me. Again, I'm very ethical. I don't have in the middle. I have or right or left. I have or black or white. I don't have in the middle. I don't like those gaming, because in the end of the day, she went through so much mentally and physically. So why with something that she was so excited to have done and to be complete, she needed again to go through emotional and mental, breakdown, for
Mhm.
example. So this is one story,
Yeah.
and I have a lot. I
Yeah.
have a lot, and I shared a lot in my book also.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I can imagine just a lot of people out there don't have that support, like having someone like you in their corner.
no,
So they gotta be careful about it. They gotta be careful.
I
So,
will tell you more. I will tell you more, because I got so bothered by that. And other cases that I see, I'm actually graduating soon, and I do associate degree in medical and billing coding,
mm,
because I wanna open a secondary company to be able to help only with those claims to the
mm,
cancer patients community. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
That'd
my
be huge
mission.
for them. That'd be huge for them.
I'm praying. I'm like, for everything. I'm studying very hard,
Mhm.
and I'm very happy. And I hope that what I have in my mind, actually, I will be able to make it happen.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that's the vision you have for the future. I'm also curious, what is your vision for Fancy Smancy? What's your vision for that business?
Wow. Well, if we talked like a few good years ago, I would tell you I want to have my own. So let's. I was okay. I even didn't mention it. I was a medical nail technician.
Mm,
I was working on diabetic people, ingrowing toenails, and when I came to the United States, I needed to get a license for esthetician and a tattoo. So I started to do again nails. And when I had a client that I did her nail art, and her name is Molly, and she said, "Oh my God, Liana, I feel so fancy schmancy." And I'm like, "What is fancy schmancy?" And she's telling me, "You should know, you're Jewish. It's a Jewish slang." I'm like, "Girl, maybe I'm Jewish, but I don't know this slang. I came to America. I don't know this slang. So it's American Jewish slang." So I said, Molly, one day I want to have a nail salon and a permanent makeup that is fancy schmancy. And it happened. And this is how I got out where I was working. And I
mm,
opened my fancy schmancy. And I really like to help community.
mhm.
So I was taking girls that were looking for a job in nails and they don't even have experience or just finished school, but also if they have any difficulties in their life. So I had someone that I helped her that she was in a domestic violence relationship,
Mm,
and one that was a single mother, and I had one that she was actually an exotic dancer and she wanted to get out of this world, and she had a child. And I taught them how to do nails. I helped them with the license, and they started to work for me in the nail department. And I was working in my permanent makeup office. And this is how Fancy Schmancy actually became.
mm,
I had the nail salon and everything up to COVID. And then, COVID happened, and this
yeah.
was a huge thing for everyone.
Mhm.
But I really wanted to help more. So, and there were no schools, right? So, what everyone would do, kids are at home, right? So, I rented another room just for the kiddos that they can bring their kids to be able to work, because we were completely crazy busy, because everyone were trusting me and how I, with the salon and everything. And and that's it. But then COVID happened, and it was very hard for them. And I was so busy that I couldn't do everything by myself. And then I said, it's time for me to close the doors of nails. It's been like what, 11 years. I did my thing. I helped them. I know that they can do it. And then I just shut down the nails, because I helped them to find a job in different places, one to rent a place, one started to work with a doctor as a medical nail technician. And I just stayed with my permanent makeup and medical clinic.
Mm, mm. Wow. Wow. It's
Yeah.
been a journey, but I mean, I think you have a wonderful vision for the business and then other business you want to start up, all about just helping people, helping
Yeah.
your team members, also helping your clients as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, so Liana, I actually have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I do want to point people to your website at fs-pmu.com. Now,
Yes.
last question for you is, what does beauty mean to you?
What is beauty means to me?
Mm-hmm.
It's accepting yourself and always to be confident with yourself, and it doesn't matter how you look. Again, it's not about how we look outside. It's how we feel inside. If you put yourself down, you will not be able to get up. And it's better for you to fall a lot of times, because you will get up every time and you get stronger, you will get more confident, and you will get more experience. For me, beauty is to be always transparent. And the most important thing for me, it's to be ethical. If you're not ethical and you're not transparent, and it doesn't matter what you do in your life, you will not be able to succeed. I build relationship. Every client that comes to me, it's not a friend, but it's not a client for me. It's a relationship where I have a journey with them. And if I can help in any little thing that I can, even that I going through so many things and I don't have support and I don't have even family, what keeps me going is this community. So by how I help them in any way that I can, I'm keeping myself attached and not to break down. In the end of the day, everyone have their own story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm smiling to you. I'm happy. I'm sharing so many things. But behind, I also going through things that there are difficult things that I'm not sharing. But what makes me keep going is those things. It's the Zoom with you today, that it's an honor that you gave me this beautiful platform, that we met each other. We can share things, that this little information that we talked about actually can educate others and can help them as well in their own journey and in their own direction that they have in life. So beauty for me, it's transparency and to be ethical.
Well said. Well said. Well, there you have it. Liana sharing her expertise. So Liana, where can people contact you and your practice?
So you can reach out to me on my website, and actually it's through remodeling right now. But the easiest way is through my Instagram. You can follow my Instagram page. You can see me with Dr. Hotstein, where I travel to Miami, where I work over there, where I have the twin doctors here in the North Shore, and our TV segment. Usually, you can reach out to me through Instagram, and I can reply right away. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Liana, this is a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and sharing your message.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.